Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We have bellied up the bar tonight. If you know anything, the things that I look at this, I already know who's. She's already got fans showing up. She could be the biggest guest we've ever had. I mean, we've had some good ones, but I'm going to say this is many firsts for us. This is our first wrestling manager. This is our youngest guest. What else could we say first? There's just a lot. I mean, there's a lot of firsts in this, and as a dad, I'm very excited because I love to talk to folks that have figured out what their passions are early. I did the same thing. I knew I wanted to be a Marine at a young age. To talk to somebody else who has found their passion at a young age. So joining us, and I'm just gonna I'll say parts unknown because it's none of y'all's damn business. So joining us from parts unknown because it works for wrestling perfectly. We have the manager of legends, Miss Jemma.
Hello.
That was my best announcer voice also. Coming to the stage together. She's from parts unknown. It's the manager of legends.
That was perfect.
But look who's it is. I'm gonna say that. Is that Rita Marie. Is that who I think that is?
That would be Miss Rita Marie. Hello, Rita.
And if you don't know who Rita Marie is, go touch up on your, I'm gonna say WWF history, because that's how far we're going back with this. The first ever female referee. I've met her a couple times at the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, which I have my shirt on right now. There it is. Which is where Jemma and I met at. And then we have Mr. TJ Wago saying evening. I'm not assuming that's one of your folks. So let's go ahead and get some house cleaning done here, Miss Jemma. And then we're going to get into it and how you got into wrestling and all those pieces. So as always, folks, over my right shoulder, we got the big board for sticker and a cause. Maybe you're a professional wrestler. You're into an indie circuit. You've got a podcast, a band. I don't care what it is. Reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. I can't call it Twitter no more. X, Instagram, TikTok. They're all the Above the Bar podcast. Reach out. Let me know what you got going on. I'll tell you where to send your sticker to. We'll read about you live on the air. It costs you nothing. A little bit of free advertisement for you. The other side. Now, Jemma, I'm seeing this window over your shoulder here, and I know which area you live in, and that's a pretty bare window. You know who you should call for that window? You should call Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie or Budget Blinds of East Greenbush. They're America's largest custom window treatment company, Budget Blinds. And for the month of February, they're running a sale. Buy two, get one free on all window treatments. Make sure you're reaching out to them. Let them know you're there to belly up to the bar. Budget Blinds of East Greenbush and Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York. They'll take care of that window. It won't be bare for you no more. And you know what? Offer a no questions asked warranty. So if you're dropping a people's elbow on somebody in that room and it tears down that window treatment, they're going to replace it for free. How's that sound?
Well, that's awesome.
Oh God, look at this. Nate's already started. Nate's a big wrestling fan too. He's already started with a chair. Ain't nobody smacking nobody with a chair. Because listen, Nate, I will Jimmy Superfly snook at that ass. Don't you worry about it. I go back. We go back in this house. So again, so Jemma, let's get right into this. I remember, we met, actually I met your mom first and your dad, and we met during the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame inductions. And folks, there's a lot of you watching us right now. Do us a big favor. Go ahead and share, like. Jemma's Instagram is going to be scrolling here on the bottom. Make sure you go follow her on Instagram so you know what she's got going on. It may sound cliche, but you hitting that like and that share button on all these different things really does make a difference. What's going on over there? Long story short, on Instagram. So back to this though. So how? I mean, you're 15. How long now have you really truly been into wrestling?
Well, I have been into wrestling since I was about 2 years old. Um, so for a very, very long time. Um, what really got me into it was AJ Lee, actually. I met her when I was very little. I can't remember what age. I think it was 5, actually. And I met her at a Comic Con, and I told her about my type 1 diabetes, and it kind of just broke her heart because I told her she was my hero and everything, and I really looked up to her. And because I basically grew up watching her, when she got that neck injury and she was out, I was devastated. And so it was really awesome that I got to meet her, because who knows? Maybe she'll make her return to the ring, or who knows? Maybe she won't. But definitely, it was that she's the one that really got me interested. And then,
So, well, stay with that for a second. So here you are talking
yeah.
about 5 years old. You meet an early hero. What was
Mm-hmm.
kind of your parents' reaction though? Because I mean, like I got a 6-year-old, and if he wrestles like the traditional high school style. What's
Yep.
up there down in Texas? My buddy Corey's watching us on Instagram. But if he told me, Dad, I'm going to be a pro wrestling manager, all those things, I probably would be like, that's cute, bud. Enjoy.
Yeah.
But what was your parents' reaction to this? I mean, because if they're taking you to Comic Con to meet these folks, how did they react when you told them at 5 years old, well, there's my dreams. That's where I'm going with this?
Well, my parents, that's the thing about them. They are always supportive. They're like, whatever you want to do, we will support you. And so, like, I used to dance. They supported me on that. But wrestling has really been what I've wanted to do. I pointed to the TV and I said, that's what I want to do. I want to get in the ring. I want to basically, yeah, I want to get in the ring, and I want to do what the females in the ring are doing.
So now you're watching this though at that young of an age. Do
Yeah.
you understand the kayfabe is on at that point? I mean, do you understand that, or are you just seeing like I'm watching somebody dropping, they're dropping a suplex, they're power bombing somebody, somebody's getting choke slammed, and all this other stuff. Like, do you understand that
That's
the kayfabe is on?
no, I didn't understand it then, but now I do. But no, when I was just watching on that TV, it was magical. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is an inspiration. This is my dream job. And so,
Was
yeah,
there
pretty
something
much.
in it? Was there something about what they were doing? Was it the crowd cheering? Was it the athleticism to it? What was it about it that really drew it to you?
Um I honestly think it was the crowd cheering, and because people got since people sorry, oh my gosh, since people get a kick out of the performers and the crowd, it made me happy. And I've always been a performer. Would have been standing at I, I don't know, anywhere. I would have been dancing in a supermarket um to the music. Like, I've always performed since I was little. And so the act of performing of professional wrestling, and then also little kids looking up to um the female superstar saying, "Hey, if she can do it, I can do it." Right? So that's what really
That's what
touched my
that's what
heart.
hooked you. So that's what
Yeah.
hooked you there, huh? And
Yeah.
I'm not sure who Mr. Joe 1971 is, but I'm gonna guess that might be dad, maybe?
Nope.
But
I
they
I
said
think I
this person
know.
this person says you've been this way since day one, so always a
Yeah.
performer. So here you are, you're 5 years old, you're enjoying this. This is what I wanna do. As we're moving forward though, how do we get from this little peanut who says, "Oh, I want to get in the ring. Yeah, that's cute. Great. All right, come on, let's go." To, I mean, you're known as the manager of legends. That's that's your, that's your hook or your gimmick or whatever you want to. And I got to ask this question real quick: faces or heels?
Yeah,
What do you prefer? Faces or heels?
faces.
You rather manage faces, huh?
Yeah, they're fun. Even though I have managed a heel before, and that was fun because I got to tell my father to shut up. But you know,
Oh, you got
yeah,
away with one, huh? Got away with
yeah, I did.
who was the heel?
I went out with Blaze at the EC EC ECW? Nope, ECPW show.
So, and that's an
It
it's an
was
indie circuit.
yes, it was.
That
Yeah.
kind of reminds me. So, how many indie circuits have you worked so far?
So I've worked probably about five now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now
I've
what is that
worked
approach like? Like 5 indie circuits, and I'm curious. Like that's what's really interesting me because I'm just thinking, here comes this young lady, folks. I've met Jemma. It's not like she's 6'4", walk at 15, walking up like, "Excuse me, I'd like to go ahead and manage your wrestlers." It's not like that. She's looks like a typical teenager. What is
Yep.
that approach like to these organizations to be like, "Hey, yeah, my thing is I manage. I want to manage a couple of your guys. I've already like, what's that approach been like, and the reception from some of these folks?"
So it's the reception is usually really, really kind, actually, and they're very respectful about it because like they would message me and then I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, let me just check my schedule. I'm interested. And then they'd come back and they'd say, hey, we looked at more of your work. We really like you. We would like you to work with us. I go, oh,
Wow.
okay, yeah.
So they're
So
reaching out
it's
to you.
yes. Mostly because I was at like an event and I gave them my Instagram handle. So they would reach me through my Instagram. That's my
So,
easiest way.
well, I mean, and I get that. I mean, I'm an old fart. I have Facebook, which I've learned is for old people. I didn't realize it was for old people till my own teenagers told me that, and I'm like, what do you mean it's for old people? I'm like, you're out of your mind. They're like, grandma has a Facebook page. I'm like, all right, so my mother has a Facebook page. I got it. I understand. But so they're reaching out to you. They're contacting you. So, but tell me about the first one then. The first one that you reached out to. Like, how old were you then? Did you do it on your own, or hi Stacy, or did somebody introduce you? Like, what was that whole experience like?
So actually, Rita, at one of the Hall of Fame show events, I told her what happened to me. Basically, I had a teacher saying that professional wrestling wasn't a realistic job and that I needed to change my job report. And well, I was very mad and I will never forget that. But we told Rita about it. She went to her buddy, Mario Mancini, the owner of PAPW, which is a promotion and a school that I do shows for. And basically, Mario said, "Get her on the show. We're going to have mom or dad take a video, and she can show it to the teacher and basically shove it up her butt." So,
I love it.
yeah. So
You get applause.
that's how it started. And I was 13 years old. It was 2 days into 2 days. Sorry, 2 weeks into my No, I'm, oh my God, 6 days into my 13th birthday. I am all over the place
All
right
right.
now.
None of my listeners can do math. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God.
They can't do it. Trust
Neither
me.
can I.
Nate has to take his shoes off to count to 4. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm there. So go ahead. It's fine.
Okay.
So we're a week after your birthday.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I had a photo shoot done. It was nerve-wracking, but I met my 2 main guys for POPW at my first ever wrestling event that I worked at. And those 2 guys are Buzz Bloodsaw and Bull and they have
What is
been
it?
my mentor.
Buzzsaw, and what's the other one?
Buzz Bloodsaw and Bull
Bull Dread?
Yes.
Okay. That's it. I've heard a lot of different names. You gotta have to explain. What's a bull dread? What's a bull dread?
So Bull is the beast of the Northeast, and he's very popular up in Connecticut and the Northeast wrestling circuit.
Nice.
So I call him Uncle Dread because he's
Nice.
basically an uncle to me. So
those were your first 2, and so those are 2 that you manage fairly regularly within that promotion.
Yes. Yep.
Now I want to stick with that promotion for a second. I've talked
Of
to,
course.
and you probably know, you might know Fox Vineyard. You know Fox, don't you?
Oh, of course I do. Yeah.
Fox has been on here a couple of times. We've talked enough about this, and Seth and all those guys. Now, one of the things I always hear about the indie circuit is to make it in the indies. Like, it's not like when you're up at the show. Like, these guys they're putting the rings together. They're coming in early to put it together. They're staying late to tear it down. They work every element to it. I've heard this many times. I've heard them talk about it. Has that been your experience?
Yeah, I've gotten early to a show before, and they were still putting up the ring and getting everything situated. I asked usually if I could help, but I'm too little to start putting the ring together. But I hope that changes soon. Because listen, I'm little, but I'm mighty, and if you need me to get under there and tighten some things, I can. I'm handy.
You can make it happen.
So I can make it happen.
And that's it's funny. So you've had a lot of naysayers to this, and that's the biggest thing with this. You're following your dream. So you've had a lot of naysayers as you're building up and into this. What were some of the things that have driven you or helped to keep you focused on this goal of staying in professional wrestling and being involved in professional wrestling?
Well, let's see here. Besides being told that it wasn't a real job, but hey, I'm proving them wrong there. It's mostly that I can show myself I can do it, and I can be that inspiration that I was talking about earlier. In fact, there's a wrestler named Sylvian, and his little girl has type 1 as well. And so me and another great friend of mine, that girl Cece, she and I got a picture with his little girl, and anytime she's at a show that I'm at or that her dad wrestles at, she always comes and gives me the biggest hug. And I always ask her, like, how was the show? What'd you think? And she's always she's like, it was good. I really liked it. And meanwhile, she's still giving me the most ginormous hug. And then, so yeah, it's mostly just being an inspiration to the little ones, and showing people that you can do it no matter what. You just gotta continue. You gotta try. You cannot let yourself hold yourself back.
That's a great point. Don't let yourself hold yourself back. And folks, we are live here with Jemma. And if you see the scroller, if you're listening to the audio afterwards, take a moment. It's at Jemma, Jemma Ringside on Instagram. Give her Instagram a follow. see what she's got going on. She's at promotions on a fairly regular basis, is my understanding. So do that for her. And again, we're live. So if you've got questions for her, you want to know about her involvement, things she's got, goals that she has involved with wrestling, please go ahead and fire those questions out. And again, those likes, shares, and follows mean how this is how Jemma becomes like gets recognized by the big boys. Now, that's a good
Yeah.
question though that I'm thinking about here. So you really kind of have, what's left? You got WWE. Is ECW even still around? Like, is that still even a? I think ECW's done. There
Yeah.
was I keep catching every so often there'll be like this. Oh, this is the next great thing. It's going to come out of nowhere and it's going to take over, and and then all of a sudden they get swallowed by the machine that is WWE. But is there
Yeah.
any like? Do you? I know this might sound like a stupid question, but do you have a goal to make it to that WWE level? Or is it more like, hey, I'm enjoying myself in the indie circuit. I'm gonna, I'm gonna go this other direction after high school. What are you thinking?
So, one of my goals is to at least to make it to AEW at least, because
Okay.
I've met a lot of people from AEW, and even if I'm big in the indies and I'm just doing like small matches with AEW, I would be happy. That's fine. And sure, if people notice me, like say I'm on AEW and they're like, "Hey, we really like her," and they invite me to come like try out and stuff, absolutely, I will not turn that opportunity down. I will keep my eyes
You're willing,
open.
you're willing to keep that option open. I mean, if they really want
Yeah.
me up at WWE, I guess, I
Yeah.
guess. But I mean, so what are some of the, you know, well, let me ask this then. So what are some of the legends though that you've managed? Have you managed anyone that's been up at the show yet?
So I haven't managed anyone that's been at this show yet, but I mean, besides Paul Dread, he is the only legendary person that I've managed. And then of course there's Stevie Legend, who is another one of my guys. Thank you, Mama.
You fixed it for me. I was gonna say, Leah fixed me. Hey, I'm gonna take the heat for it because I typed it in, Leah. But I ain't gonna say who told me what it was. I ain't gonna say who said what it was. I'm just gonna say I typed it in. It was my fault. But I mean, because who would I be to blame a? I mean, I'd be wrong. I ain't gonna do that. But I have my own teenagers. I blame them for stuff all the time. So I know how it works. So now, looking at obviously having Rita Marie as a mentor, I mean, this is
Yep.
somebody who literally broke open the business for a female referee, for somebody doing those kind of things. They now have multiple female referees within WWE. It's a completely different landscape. Um, all those things. TJ say, "Mama always got your back." We know that for a fact,
Oh
you know.
yeah.
But is there like what is your goal with this industry? Is it to stay in that managing standpoint, like a Bobby the Brain Heenan, or I should say more like an Elizabeth, or do you know the former manager woman? Do you know who that is?
Are you kidding? I know a lot of women
I'm not,
managers.
but I'm just saying, like, like most guys who watch wrestling don't know who woman was.
Mhm.
And for those of you who don't know, look her up. She managed the Steiner brothers for a minute there, and she's the
Yeah.
reason that the Steiners broke up. But do you have like it? Which element is it? Or do you want to get in the ring? I'm talking like top rope, dropping bows. Like, what's your personal goal with all of it?
So my personal goal is to get in the ring, but in order for me to be the best performer I can be, I am open to trying every single little bit in the industry. So like from being a ring announcer to manager, even being I'm even open to train to be a referee because referees are very important.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the in ring producer or director. You know, that's
Yeah.
who's keeping that flow going, making sure everything has the vibe and the feel to it. Absolutely. Um, Now, is there anyone thinking about some of these different managers, whether male or female? I would love to see you do like a Bobby the Brain Heenan kind of a thing, like
Yeah.
straight up heel manager. I don't know if you
Hmm.
have it. Like it would be so great, like if you came out in like with this very wholesome look to you, but the entire time, like you're sliding like canes and stuff like that into the ring, dropping boat, like so people are getting knocked out, and then you're like off to the side, just looking just as sweet and as innocent. I love that gimmick. It sounds great. We got Karen Judge wants to know, do you feel that the type 1 had kept you or held you back from reaching your goal? Do you think it's been like having type 1 diabetes? You know, Mark Andrews is
Yes.
From the Baltimore Ravens. He has
Hmm.
type 1. He has type
Yep.
1. He actually talked about it before the game that he actually has to, like, sometimes run off to the side of the field and get, like, either sugar packets or different stuff
Yep.
just to regulate himself, but how do you feel like
Yeah.
it's affected your ability with this?
So, great question. So type 1, it's not something, it's something that I live with. And I'm not gonna let that hold me back. Like, sure, I'm gonna have to find new places to put my equipment, or even have to take off my pump for a match or so. That's fine. I'm not gonna let type 1 stop me from achieving my goal, no matter what.
Now, saying that, though, what are some of the cautions you have to take because of it? Is there anything that you have to be extra cautious with, like, "Hey, gotta watch this, gotta watch that"?
Yeah. So, I gotta like when I'm training and stuff, I gotta let people know, or like who I'm training with know where my inset or my Dexcom is, um, so they're careful not to grab it by accident or rip it off. And so that's basically what I need
That's the
to look
biggest
out
challenge
for.
is just making well, that goes back to, great wrestling is good partners.
Hmm.
You have to have somebody that really can work with you and work a match with you. So that has to be part of the conversation. Now, we know you've done some managing. We know you're training to be in the ring. Have you gotten like any ring time? Like, what was that movie that recently came out? I know you watched it about she's a female pro wrestler from England. They did the movie about her.
Oh, Paige.
Paige, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I remember watching that, and they talk about, having great partners and how important that is. But she was your age when she started. So, what do you think about, would you be wanting even now at your age to get in the ring, like in that level?
Um. Hmm. Hold on. Say that one more time.
So I'll say it again. So thinking about her and thinking about that movie
Hmm.
and how she was very young. She was really, very young getting into the ring.
Yeah.
Would you want to go to that level already? Do you think that that's something that you would want to do, or is it kind of like that's not the dream's path?
You know what? Yeah, actually. This summer I'm getting trained. I'm officially, and I'm really excited about
Is
it.
this an exclusive? Are we getting an
Um,
exclusive right now?
maybe.
Maybe.
Um, but by the time I'm 18, it is my goal to be in the ring and trained so I can be actually in matches.
Oh, Suki now. I mean, come
Hmm.
on now. So, do you have now? Are we staying with Manager of Legends when we're in the ring? Do we have a different name we want to go by?
So that's kind of still in the works. And I gotta but I'm kind of experimenting with Jemma sticks a little bit, bringing that
Alright.
Greek mythology.
I like it. Like, are you
Just
gonna, like, do the whole acolytes kind of a deal? Like, do you remember the acolytes?
yes, yeah.
Do you wanna go that way route?
Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna play with it.
I like that. You could do, like, the whole acolytes come out in the hood, and then,
Yeah.
like, the whole river Styx kinda thing.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Like, in my mind, you know what you do before every match starts? Look, we're already setting up our gimmick the entire time right now, folks. You gotta do the entire thing, like, nobody can see you, and, like, your hand just kinda slides out from under the robe, and you
Yep.
roll it open, and then when the person's looking, like, whoever and I don't know if you're gonna play a face or a heel, when they look back and they're like, what do they want?" Ringside, they should be like, It's it's the boatman for the River Styx, they're looking for their 2 coins." And then when they're like, they don't give you the 2 coins, you just roll your hand back up and pull it back in, and then fire a big elbow. It's like
Yep.
art to it. I think that would be amazing. Oh, look, we've already set your gimmick up. Whole River Styx, hand rolls out, they don't put anything in there, you roll it back, and then you hit him with a big elbow. Bang! I love it. Look at
Yep.
that. We're on it already.
Yep.
Nate wants to know what's the go-to oh god, Nate and his meals. Look, he gotta have something with meals. So do you have no, so being around, traveling around with some of these matches, all these different things that are going on, have you like because we'd always end up talking about food at some point on here.
That's
Have
all
you
right.
found like, especially, having type 1, you have to watch some of your meals and what your intake is. But have you found any spot where because I always said, like, wrestlers and truck drivers, people that hit the road a lot know where all the good
Yep.
food spots are. Has anybody introduced you to a spot where they're like, "Gemma, this is where you're gonna have to go eat here." Anybody hooked you up and now you're in love with a spot?
Oh yeah. So actually down a few roads, I think, from the PAPW training facility, there is a diner called the Twin Pines Diner, and it is so good. Me and my family, we are huge diner people, because we can eat there. Because I have celiac and it's hard to eat out. So
Yeah.
diner food is the best.
A lot of options, a lot of choices.
Yep.
For you to have you ever been to Dunkin's in Troy? Just outside
No,
on
I
the
haven't.
you gotta go to Dunkin's. It's
All
like
right.
super small hole in the wall, cash only, but they have a fresh bakery inside of it. Like they make their
Ooh.
own breads and everything
Mhm.
inside. And now that kind of brings up. Are you an only child? Any brothers, sisters, anything?
I am an only child.
Same. That makes us cool. I'm an only child.
Yeah.
That makes us so much better because you know what? That's just how I feel. And then Laura G says, "Go Gemma from your fans Eli and Emmett." So,
So that is my aunt,
oh,
and actually, how those boys are, aside being an only child, I get protective over them, and they are my
younger
little
cousins.
buddies.
Younger
Yes.
cousins, yeah, I had that. I had all the I was the oldest, all the cousins were younger than me. The same exact thing. I always felt like, "You know what? I'm older, like, keep an eye out on everybody." Yeah.
Yep.
And they all became bigger than I am, so it doesn't never work out. They're all way
Yeah.
large.
No, seriously.
Yeah, they were all way larger than me. So, thinking about that though is how has some of your family reacted? Obviously we know mom and dad were all
Mhm.
about it, but that doesn't mean aunts, uncles, grandparents, you know, what were some of the reactions? And, it's easy to say, oh, everybody was positive, but what was some of the negative stuff that you had to fight through with them?
So my grandmother isn't too big on violence. And she's like, well, she was a little against it at first, but then she finally came to one of my shows and she's really supportive now. My grandfather, he's like, I don't care what you do, kid. So he's he's a big supporter of mine. And then yeah, my uncle, and then my little cousins, they've always been my biggest fans, even with dance. Everybody Even at school plays, you can hear the little one going, "Go Jojo, go Jojo!" I go, "Oh, well, I know what that is. I know who that is."
I got another gimmick. You ready?
Ooh, what?
Gemma, like, look, this might be a little on the nose with the dance thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go full on Gemma ballerina, but do it like a Black Swan kind of a deal.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
then, like, and you can come out and do like the whole entire like prancing on out there and take a couple of shots and then like do the entire Hulk Hogan face change. You know what I'm saying? Like you do the Hulk Hogan
Yes.
thing where like
Yep.
after a couple of them or who was I used to love watching her. She was a female wrestler that she played a little bit off her rocker. Her character now isn't that way. God, I can see her face. She was kind of short, and for a while there, she played like she was off her rocker and she was stalking another female wrestler. I can't think of her name. I can see her face. She's real short. Somebody will remember it, but there's another one. Gemma Ballerina come out like a whole Black Swan kind of thing and then just start whooping ass. See,
Yeah.
we got a million of these things. I personally am never getting in the ring. At no way, shape, or form are you slamming me through something. Are you smacking me with something? Are you choking and any? It's just not happening. There was. See, this is what I'm talking about. Nate. Now, Leah, you were close. It was Mickey James.
Yeah.
Mickey James did the whole psycho thing where she was like
Yeah.
a stalker, and then she would take like a couple of hits and be like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I'm so sorry," and then she would like do the whole face switch thing and then whoop somebody.
Yep. Yep.
Come on, Leah, you're supposed to have all these. I need support on this wrestling stuff. I can't have Nate being right about stuff. I can't afford that. Then I have to listen to his mouth, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I know all about it," and I can't be listening to all that. But yeah, Mickey James. So but let's talk more. I want to actually really get into the following your dream piece. I
Yeah.
mean, this is such a huge thing. I'm an old fart. I'm 47 years old, and I still am learning about doing that because, like I said, when I was 14, I knew I wanted to be a Marine, so I went and I
Yeah.
did that. When I retired, I was like, I got to figure out what I got to do with my life now and come up with a new dream. What are some of the things that you do daily or things that you want to teach to other people? Wait a sec, hold on. Gemma is a wealth of knowledge. It comes to anything wrestling. Is this going to be her move? She's been diaper bombing her dad on her own. Leah, this is the kind of thing as a parent I appreciate because I'm the dad that would like roll down the window as I'm dropping my son off at high school and yelling out, "I love you," just to get to him. So I appreciate all this. That could be your look. That could be your move.
Yeah.
The diaper bomb. Oh, I love that's even. Oh my god, that's enough. Look, we got a third. We got a third one. You come out in a straight 80s mom outfit with like the mom jeans and
Oh my god.
a diaper bag and everything. And
Yep.
when the ref isn't like your move is kind of like a heel move. When the ref isn't
Mm-hmm.
looking, you reach into the diaper bag and you pull out what looks like a dirty diaper and you stuff it in their face and rub it in their face. And when they're like, and the ref turns around, you hit them with like a jawbreaker or something like that, and then like end it.
Yep.
Like that's an amazing, like just straight up mom you up. That's so awesome. The
Yep.
people's elbow to dad's nose since she was 2 years old.
And
We
then
used
I
to
would
have a
fall back and hit my nose.
move in my house. I used to teach my kids called the Murph U because we're Murphys.
Yeah.
And we would what it was is I'd pick my kids up and I'd hold their head and their leg together over my shoulder and then turn sideways and drop them called the Murph U. That was a great one right there. Karen says, Leah's awesome. What moms are supposed to do. You are awesome, Leah. But going back to what I was asking you about here though is, what is your process or how do you stay focused? Because I mean, you can't tell me that it's just like, oh, I wake up every day, I'm just gonna go wrestle. There has to be a focus. There's got to be something for you, or how you teach other people to be this way. What do you do?
So this is hard. But basically, besides school and stuff, I do I do go to the gym, and where I do enjoy working out, and that helps mental health as well. And so that's really another motivator for me. um and then basically, I've had some other people at school who are into wrestling. Like, there's another girl who's a grade below me, and she wants to be a professional wrestler as well. And she goes, how do I do this? I go, I don't know, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I'm in training still, and I'm still learning. So
Did you invite her with you?
I haven't yet, and I really hope to. Because all my shows are in Connecticut currently. So
Come on now.
yeah.
Come on, Gemma. You got to invite her at least to training.
Oh yeah, I will. Once I'm really hoping that I'm gonna be able to work in New York soon, and hopefully that she can come to some shows. Because I told her once I find a group in New York that I will be with, I said you can come as much as you want. She's like, all right.
All right. I got one for you here. So I imagine maybe one of your parents will know this. So you ever heard of the band Black Flag?
I've heard of them. I don't think I've heard their music.
Okay. It's skater punk. So
Oh.
the current drummer is a good friend of mine, Isaiah Gill. He's an amazing drummer.
Mm-hmm.
He's on Instagram watching you right now. And
yep.
I just made sure he's still there. I'll see if Isaiah, you see this girl, right? She's like you. She figured out what her passion was and ran with it. He was like, I don't even know how to explain how good of a drummer he is. Isaiah, she needs theme music. She needs theme music, Isaiah. You got to drum up something for her. You drum it, send it to me, and I'll send it to her. Give her something. We have a couple of gimmicks. We have her being Karen mom, like a Karen type mom. We have her river as the boatman for the River Styx, or Jemma ballerina with like kind of a black swan thing going on. So you got to figure out which one of those, create a drum beat for her, and we'll send it to her, and we're on it. All right. So there you go. A world famous touring drummer. He's on. So he says, so rad, keep at it. I'll drum something up. Does she like? So so him and I created a heavy metal mariachi band called
kidding.
Called Metallica. There is a real heavy metal mariachi band, but we created this entire skit in our heads of a heavy metal mariachi band called Metallica, because Nate typed Metallica wrong one day and it became Metallica. I have stickers and everything for it that I created. And they just play mariachi music, but straight heavy metal style. So we're on this. So look, Leah, I got this. Got that. You got Britain's Bay. You got she says you got fans in Florida, Texas, Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee, Utah, Arizona that love you. Karen Judge out in Utah says she's on it. Isaiah said he's on it. I'm telling you, Isaiah is going to send me music, and I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to be like, this is incredible. He's like literally won world championships, and we're getting close to closing this thing. So we got everybody showing up. Listen to this, Nate. Nate, you ain't smacking nobody with a chair. Ain't nobody smacking nobody with a chair. I ain't concerned about. You got to get out the chair first, man. Come get me. You're still soaking in your tears of your fantasy football losses. So So what are some of the shows that like so do you have some shows coming up if somebody wanted to see you in shows? I know
Oh
you have
yeah.
a lot of stuff on Instagram. And again, her Instagram is at ringside underscore Gemma, Jemma, on Instagram. You can see everything she's got going on. Uh, let's see. Oh, Rita's on. Look, Rita likes I like the
Yep.
black swan, but you plant the seed and Gemma has the ability to make it happen. I can't wait to watch her future. Huge hug, sunshine, Rita Marie. Listen, folks, Rita probably has no idea that her and I have met a couple of times, and I'm okay with that. I'm a very forgettable person sometimes. But I've met Rita a couple of times, and she's cooler than the other side of the pillow. I just want y'all to know that. But
Yeah.
what's some of the things that you've got coming up? If somebody said, "Well, I want to go see Gemma. I want to see this. I want to take my kids and get a chance to see so that they can see what a young person who's got drive and got passion, got understanding, what that looks like."
So on February 17th, actually, I will be at the Dynasty show in at Albany Live. No, at Empire Live. Sorry, that changed. And then on February 24th, I will be in East Haven, Connecticut at PAPW's training center. And then February 25th, back-to-back shows. I will be at BCW in Holyoke, Mass.
Wow. So your
Yeah.
February is pretty filled up already. Now those shows
Yep.
you'll be managing.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
talk to me. I mean, I love this managing piece for you. I really do.
Yep.
I'm telling you, the like a Bobby the Brain Heenan level,
Yeah.
like, and I know everything I'm talking about is so heel for you, but
Mm-hmm.
you have such a wholesome look. And from talking to your parents, you have that I love the idea of this heel that nobody sees as a heel, that everybody's like,
Yeah.
no, she's look at her. She's got a book
Mm-hmm.
bag on. She's still got a juice box in her hand. And then like you're sliding a crowbar into the ring. I love that. Like that to me is so great. But so what is your thing now though? Like what do you do when you're ringside other than yelling at the ref, pay attention and doing all those things?
Well, I'm working on a few other things. But basically right now, actually, I just worked with Jermaine Marbury and Benny the Basketball, who got Manager of the Year for 2023 with PAPW. And I have been Coach Gemma. So with Coach Gemma, I control the basketball game. And so with Benny the Basketball by my side,
Benny the Basketball?
yeah.
This up. Benny the Basketball. I don't know.
He's got an Instagram too.
Benny the funny, his first thing that came up was Benny the Butcher, but I don't think that's it. Benny the Basketball. I don't know Benny. Like I see Benny the Bull.
No,
like Benny
not.
the,
No, hold on.
Right,
I will
I'm
get.
jumping I'm in my Instagram. Well, I can't switch my page. So is Benny a little person? Like, tell me about Benny. I don't know Benny. He's like when I think Benny the basketball, I'm thinking Benny's a little person that bounces around the ring.
Benny is.
You're gonna tell me
He's a mascot. I work with a mascot.
Oh, okay.
And he holds up like a defense sign, and I'm ringside. I'm checking on my guys, making sure he's okay. I'm giving orders and everything. So I'm thinking I'm gonna start carrying a clipboard out and keeping tallies.
I like it. I like the clipboard. And again, I know I'm horrible. You should take a clipboard. You should carry a clip.
This is his Instagram.
Okay. So his Instagram, folks, if you want to check out Benny, it's Benny Benny the basketball. So we're gonna check that out afterwards. I can't change it while I got my other stuff up. But
yep.
So I like the idea of a clipboard and you put like it should look like it has metal on the back of it, but it's not. And then you throw it in the ring. Somebody gets
Yeah,
they throw it back. I know I keep pushing
exactly. That was
you
my
towards
no,
being a
that
hero.
that was exactly the point, though.
Love it.
Because listen, I've been working with the pyramids of power and Zafar has been cheating, and I'm kind of tired of it. So you know what? I'll hand Jermaine the clipboard, and he can smack him up right on over the head, or I'll give Benny a do it and have him knock him
That's
out.
even better. It's even better. Mascot. You should have the when you wait till oh, I love it. Like his head's under the ropes, and then have the mascot do something. Has anyone ever seen who's under the mascot thing? Under the
No,
hood?
nope, that's a
Ooh,
secret.
that's so that would be like a great reveal. Like the day you reveal it, like whoever it is sticking their head underneath there, and then he takes the mask off and sticks it on the other person and drops an elbow on him, then takes it back and puts it back on.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. I know. I could write all
You could.
so I've always enjoyed wrestling. And again, Gemma, listening to everything that you're doing, it's
Yeah.
energizing to me to hear you and the energy you have for this and the passion you have for a career, something that you want to do. And there's been some great female wrestlers and characters. I'm trying to think of the gentleman's name. She was a female owner of a wrestling organization in the South. What was her name? I met her son or grandson.
Tiny.
Yes, thank you, Tiny.
Mhm.
Tiny, I mean, she was it, and she started as a ticket taker.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait a sec. So TJ says, "So is hitting someone with a chair necessary?" TJ, why wouldn't it be? Can we ask that? Like, why wouldn't it be? Can we ask that question? But is it necessary? I think it is. I mean, it's a great part of wrestling, hitting someone with a chair.
It is. In fact, my first ever match, I hit someone with a kendo stick. You can ask Rita too.
They let you let loose on a kendo stick on somebody?
Oh yeah, they said swing it like a baseball bat. Okay, I got it. Whack.
Please tell me you played like softball or baseball and
oh yeah,
put it on.
oh yeah. I played softball for 3 years.
So you knew how to swing it.
We're good. I knew how to swing it.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
Just Gemma, there's so much to unpack in this. It's so many different things. I mean, folks, make sure you're checking out at ringside _ Jemma, JEMMA. There's just at a minimum, if you're a parent like myself, you want your kids around somebody like this. You want your kids involved with somebody like this, so that they can see someone who has goals, who has dreams, who has these things going on, and it's amazing to me now. But that also reminds me, the other side to it is we've all said it. We've all lived through being teenagers and those things. Kids can be the cruelest. What has been other reactions to classmates? What are you, probably sophomore, junior? What has been some of their reactions to people, to when you're like, I'm going to be into pro wrestling? What has that been like?
So again, going back to 6th grade, I had a classmate who agreed with the teacher, and I was friends with that classmate at the time. We aren't anymore. He's something else. But besides that, he basically told me I couldn't either, and that it was the most hysterical idea he's ever heard, and it was basically nonsense. So besides that, but then I told another teacher, I was getting ready for a show. I was late to school that day because I was packing my case, and I come in with my Bull Dread shirt on, and he read my shirt, and he goes, "Huh, where's that shirt from?" I go, "Oh, that's the guy managing tonight." And he goes, "Managing?" I go, yeah, have I not told you I'm a professional wrestling manager for the indie circuit? And he goes, no. And then he's like, has she told everybody else? And everybody else in the class went, mm-hmm. And he goes, well, why didn't you tell me? And I said, well, I don't know. I guess I forgot. But then there's some other people who I've told at school, and they're like, yo, that's really cool. And then they'd actually be on the high school wrestling team. And so they're like, that's really, really cool. And so otherwise,
I mean, so how do you what would be your advice to other people then that are have some dreams that maybe aren't atypical, they're not the I'm gonna be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, a YouTuber, any of those kind of things that aren't the typical today dreams. What would be some of your advice to them for overcoming some of those naysayers?
work hard and don't let go of that dream. That's for sure. Because also, don't let anybody stop you. It's your dream, not theirs. So that's that's pretty much it, though. Just keep that dream alive.
Look, folks, I know people in their 40s and 50s that need to hear that same exact advice. And you've got a lot of things here. After TJ asked about the chair, Karen says, I love watching that. Karen likes people getting hit with chairs. That's the
So
whole thing.
Karen's TJ's mom.
Okay. So
No.
TJ, I want you to understand, you might want to watch yourself because your mother likes to watch people get hit with chairs. You might want to be careful, brother. It might not be, you might want to just not ask about that one. And then Rita
Yep.
says, TJ, have you ever watched wrestling? He says, I'm going to be honest, not much. My mom watches a lot though. And then Rita says, Jemma literally came out swinging her first time out. I mean, that made it happen. Well, look, folks, we're getting ready to close the bar up here. As I said before, take a moment, check out at @ringside_Jemma on Instagram. Give her a follow, see what she's got going on. You had how many dates was that coming up here in February? Was that 4 different dates?
I have 3 different dates.
3 different dates.
On
Read those again
Instagram,
real quick.
I'll post more. Yeah.
All right.
So
Read those
on
again.
February 17th is at the Dynasty Show at Empire Live in Albany. February 24th is East Haven, Connecticut at the PAPW Training Center. And February 25th is at BCW in Holyoke, Massachusetts.
And Mom says your slogan is "Don't tell me I can't."
Yes,
And,
it is.
Aunt Karen says, "Jemma, you are so inspiring." I mean,
you.
you really are, Jemma. I mean, hearing this story, when I got to meet you, and I was actually standing, if I remember right, I was standing with your mom, and we just kind of got to talking. And she was like, "Yeah, my daughter's the youngest manager." I'm like, "What?" And I mean, you were like this little tiny head swimming through like all these giant people. And I know that feeling because I'm only 5'7.5" myself. So I know how that feeling goes. But but you carry yourself like you're 6 foot tall. And it's very impressive to see. And that energy was impressive. I mean, the minute I heard your story, I knew I had to get you on. Now listen, there is one other rule I never told you about. So normally when I have celebrities on, like you're going to be one day, I have a rule. So if you're ever on the red carpet, you have to take me. So if you ever take the red carpet in pro wrestling, when that happens, then I understand Mom's got to go first. I get it. Got to go before I do. I get it. But eventually, when it gets to my turn, you have to take me on the red carpet to some wrestling event. And I figure if I ask every guest this at some point in time, one of them's gonna get me there. So, I mean, we're shooting for it. And look, folks, again, if you found me through Jemma or Jemma through me, as cliche as it sounds, I've said it 100 times. I'll say it 100 more. Like, share, follow. Like, share, follow. It really, truly does matter. Jemma wants to get recognized by people at a higher level. Well, guess what? That happens by you following her Instagram page, by you liking the things she has going on, by you commenting on the things she has going on. That's how those algorithms work. That's how people know about her. guess what? I joking about a lot of different things, but I enjoy my show. This is how we get known. This is how Gemma's story through us gets found, and that's how people do stuff. So you have to listen. You have to do it. Going on to YouTube and following our YouTube page, going on to Facebook, giving a like, going on to these things, it matters to us. It really, truly does. Next week, we have returning to us Mr. Patrick Donahue. We're talking about servant leadership. I love talking about leadership. That falls in with what Jemma is. She's a leader, whether you guys understand that or not. At 15 years old, she's more of a leader than I know full-grown adults that own companies are. She's making more things happen. So you got to see this next week. Again, Patrick Donahue is going to be on. We're going to be talking about that, and we're going to do a special episode on Tuesday with Jeff Diskovic. If you don't know Jeff, he's got a documentary on Prime. He was wrongfully accused and sentenced to he did 16 years at age 16 for a murder and rape he did not commit in Poughkeepsie.
Oh, wow.
And, it's called can't remember if it's called Convicted or Conviction. It's about a 30-minute documentary that will break your heart. But now he is a lawyer who defends the wrongfully accused, and he's got some stuff going on up here in Albany. Him and I are going to do a quick 30-minute show on the 26th or on the 6th, excuse me. So stay tuned for more to come about that. Leah says, one day you can be Murph the manager and manage Gemma on the record. Look, I could do it. I mean, first off, I'm going to go, Leah, my wrestling name will be the Skunk because of this beard of mine.
I love it.
It'll be the Skunk, and I'll walk around with like one of those things of poo spray, like that fart spray, and spray people. And that's, I mean, it's wrestling, so it won't be the real stuff. It'll be like, and when they're like, people are like, I can't get around them, and they'll run out of the ring, and it'll be like a forfeit every time for my wrestler. See this? This is how the brain works. Do you see how my brain works? Like I've already got my gimmick figured out. And then when they really want to get me, they'll like take the spray from me or tape my hands up, and then I can't use it. My wrestler, you see how that works?
Yep.
I'm putting this all together already. I've got the whole thing put together. So now don't log off on me afterwards, Gemma. We're going to talk for just a hot minute afterwards. But I know this is episode 222. So you get to be on 222, episode 222. And I know you've binged watched all of them. You and mom and dad sat down and watched everything I've done. So you know what's coming. But just in case you don't remember what it is, the guest always gets the final word. So what's the final word for tonight?
Well, thank you for so much for having me on here.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in. This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.